It's Monday morning. I've got a bit of a late start. It's fabulous. I'm driving. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to the job that we've been to loads of times, myself and Adam. You remember when we did a water feature down at the bottom of the garden? Adam turned it on when I was in it. We filmed it. It was wicked. We did say, and I remembered saying out loud to me and Adam saying, should we mount this up higher in the tree because this area does flood quite badly? Spoke to the owner and he went, no, don't worry about it because the water's never gone that high ever. Lo and behold, within honestly 2 months later, it turned around and it flooded the most it's ever flooded in the entirety of Stafford. Went underwater, tripped the electrics. So we're going there today. The customer said he's moved the board higher up where he wants it. We're gonna go investigate what's broken, what can we replace, how can we get it working again. And then a little bit later on this afternoon, one of the houses that me and Adam rewired a couple of years ago, they're selling up, they're moving out, so we're gonna go and take down the Philips, really nice Philips Hue decorative light fittings, replace an outside light because they've got a ring floodlight cam out there, they want to take that with them. So yeah, come along for the journey, let's go and do some investigation. Right, boat, fountain. Originally it was screwed sort of around here, but the water level from this area came up literally above the boat and the boat was submerged in the water, but luckily it's staked in and screwed down, especially screwed to the tree, so it didn't float off. So the customer builder has put this up here. We're just going to expect this for water damage. It's all turned off up there because it just tripped off at the fuse board that's in the summer house over here. So this was completely submerged, so in my personal experience the whole thing needs to get replaced. But we'll see what the IP ratings of this lasted. So I forgot my neck cam, so let me take this off, I'll run back. So at first glance, especially the lock nut for the armoured, I would say this definitely got water in it, 100%. I would say the receivers are knackered without double checking them and pulling them off. These were still shut and there was nothing plugged into it, but from looking at the dotted stains on this and the dry mud, potentially we've got water ingress in that. I just took the tabs out of here, but these were sealed shut completely. There was nothing, what was plugged in was the pump, but you have got the good seals on these. These are Knightsbridge sockets from what I can remember. Yeah, so that's not a good sign. I just unscrewed this and we've started getting water pouring out of the fuse spur. If we have to replace this, the good thing about these is you can just remove, I'm pretty sure you can just remove the fuse switch spur and the socket front, replace the gubbins, keep the enclosures, which is obviously the main cost of one of these, and bring the cost down a bit. But it's one of them, I sort of to a point saw it coming. I did suggest it, but it's one of the things with nature is you can't quite guess it. Can't we even look at that? We even put ferrules on it, on each one. God, I wouldn't say there's any water bin in there whatsoever, especially with the cobweb still floating around. I say floating around, I mean as in there. But you have got rust on this terminal, which suggests otherwise. Let's see how much water pours out of this one, if any. No, none. I would say we're looking pretty good, to be honest. I think the thing that would be knackered would be the receivers. I'm just going to take the fuses out and double check them, but I'm very tempted to power up in a second, have a look at what's working and what's not, and speak to the customer. If this works and I'm happy and can get the tester and it's reading right, leave it. But it's one of these type of jobs where you're probably better off just replacing it because you can just undo them screws, put a new faceplate in, that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a Knightsbridge socket. Well, the fuse is still good. Right, I've just gone and got the tester, the switch, and turned it on, but there is no power, so I can only presume I've turned it back on the fuse board. That all the way back here, there's maybe a fuse spur with a 13 amp fuse in it that this has come off. So I'm just going to walk all the way back up there and double check. So somehow the left-hand receiver, which is that one, that still works, which is fantastic, which runs the little lights around here and the big floodlight off that box there. The right-hand receiver is absolutely no-go. We've got power coming in, check the fuse, no power coming out. So I can go and get a new receiver for that, link this up. I'm just going to pick up a new socket front, a new fuse spur in a minute from the wholesalers. But then running over here, you've got the spike lights that work, but equally is the massive floodlight. This is what I got given this off YouTube within lockdown, and I had this in the back of my house for a bit, and the neighbours complained, so took it down. It's a robust, it's a 100-watt LED flood. So I gave this to the customer for this job. I thought, yeah, I've got one spare, mate. I don't use it. You can just have it off this whisker box. But obviously, this isn't really an IP rated one because we've got screws and whatever here. It was never intended to be submerged. The Wagos themselves are absolutely sodden, and we've still got power going over to the light, but the light is just absolutely kaput. You can see the water with inside the glass. So unfortunately, the customer's going to have to just buy a new one this time round. So let's nip to the wholesale, let's get some bits, let's get this fixed. But super impressed the fact that one of them still works anyway. Right, me again. So you can see how far I am away. I hope you can see the water going up and down. There's loads of cows there now as well. And what I've just been hammering in down here is a electric fence. So the tiny little spiky one next to it was the earth rod for it. We just banged a big one in. And I just said to the customer, I've got a spare earth rod, we'll bang it in, give it a bit of a connection, because the one before was literally like a 9-inch spike. I'm already annoyed with myself. Like, how have I created this mess in essentially a day?